Today I want to do something different, and this is going to be, I guess, an open topic every last week of the month where we do different readings on different things. For this week, I wanted to focus on they're not coming back, but that's a blessing. Okay, so this is going to be for those that need to hear about their potential situation with a person they're in a connection with, probably in separation, and the reasons why it would probably be best that this person doesn't come back. Okay, so if you're open to that message, please feel free to stay. And if you're not, I'll see you in another reading. Okay, so they're not coming back, but that's a blessing, right? And that makes so much sense with the Ace of Pentacles, right? You have the Emperor and the World card. Okay, so this is the reading for today and the focus that we have. You know, an Ace of Pentacles in the upright is considered one of the, or if not the biggest opportunity, right? Um, in reverse, it says that it's not actually the opportunity that you think it is, okay? And I feel like that being the topic where they're not coming back and it's actually a blessing just fits so perfectly with that, okay? Um, and the reminder here is that, you know, when it's a real opportunity, there is real work that is put into it, okay? So when we talk about connections, if it was a real connection, there would be active effort and work being put into that connection by two people, right? And that is actually what creates the opportunity for fulfillment, for joy, for happiness. Two things. I think for one, this is probably for a collective that is waiting for an opportunity with someone that they hope comes back, or they hope that it comes back around. But the other thing here is that, you know, waiting for opportunity where there is none, it's essentially you actually wasting your time, wasting the potential of actual opportunity. That's why it's such a missed opportunity. And it's not that the connection that you're waiting for is the missed opportunity, it's the other potentials. That is where you're actually missing out on an opportunity, right? Now, let's see what this Emperor energy is. Okay, so the masculine king energy in this reading, I feel like this is who you're actually dealing with. You're probably a feminine, a queen energy, and you're probably dealing with a king masculine energy, and they could have water or fire in their chart, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sag. Whoever this is you're dealing with, um, I don't want to say that there's, okay, well, I think I have to be direct. I don't think this person cares as much as they should, okay? Or if they do care, it's not enough. That's why the Page of Cups is in reverse. Because what little care there is, it's even less than that. And with the Page of Cups in reverse, it's like I'm sorry, a King of Cups in reverse, there's a refusal to be committed, to be loyal, to choose this connection and pour their love into it. There's a refusal. And the fact that they show up as an emperor with the King of Wands is it's showing me somebody that when they set their mind on something, they actually go for it. They do it. So this connection you're dealing with potentially this masculine, this king, they have it in them to pursue this connection if they really wanted to. Okay. I think this hangman is here because I think some of you feel like, oh well, you know, they just need to get their thoughts in order, right? Or they're just emotionally unavailable and they can't really love me and blah blah blah. All those kinds of stories, right? That we try to tell ourselves is true. But actions speak louder than words. What is the action this person is taking towards you? I'm going to say nothing. honestly, in the current energy of what I'm seeing. Not much, if anything. And I think this person is okay with that being the situation. That's why it is a blessing that this person isn't coming back. You have a deep sense of longing and desire for this person, and I can see why. I'm sorry, in a king of wands energy with an emperor energy, it's like one of those commanding and attractive and strong energies, right? Which, you know, can get caught up in if you let yourself, okay? And while all of that may be great and admirable and, pretty to look at, what matters is the King of Cups energy. What are they doing with their heart, with their emotions? Where are they putting their loyalty and their commitment? It's not in this connection, at least from what I'm seeing. Okay. What is the world in reverse? I can see there is definite waiting in the energy, and I think you guys are really just hoping this person comes back, hoping they come back around. So maybe you're not waiting for them physically. I think you are though, but maybe you're not. You're waiting for them energetically at least. And I think you hope that there's still a future with this king. I think you hope that you will eventually come out of this, I don't know, this ghosting or this abandonment or this blockage that you have with this person, and then everything will be okay eventually, hopefully. That seems to be the energy that you carry. Let's go into individual energies, right? Why is it a blessing that they're not coming back around? I mean, I think I've said some things already, but we're going to get into it more just so you can see for yourself or maybe realize for yourself why it is a blessing that this person isn't coming back around. Let's start with your person and then your energy. So let's get your person's energy, okay? Towards you, towards this connection. Mhm. Okay. Oh, okay. What about yourself? What is your energy here? Okay. Might be a little direct, but if you've stayed, it's because you want to hear potential truth, right? I mean, it's everything that we need to it's everything that we need to say. So, one more card for your energy, then we'll go into it. Okay. All right. And yeah, I would agree with the obsession part. It's bordering on obsession, I think, the way that you guys feel about this person, honestly. Whether you want to admit it or not. And again, that's up to you to decide what you're going to be okay accepting um, as you watch this reading. I would say for your person, they show the energy of somebody that is quite, it's important what people think, how they present themselves, and that's natural. That's a natural thing to care about. Everybody cares about that in some shape, way, or form. Maybe some don't really, but for most part, people care about that, then that's okay. I think though in this context of your connection in this reading, it's not, I don't want to say they're embarrassed of you or anything like that, but definitely they are thinking about what people will say, how people will look at them, and maybe they feel like they have some kind of standard to uphold, whatever way that is. Um, I do feel deep down this person is weighed down by that, meaning maybe deep down they don't want to be limiting themselves in this way. Maybe deep down in your connection, there's something about how they experienced a freedom that they didn't have before, whether this was mentally, emotionally. However, even if you shared that kind of experience with this person where you either opened them up or you both felt certain things in certain ways with only each other, which is all very important and beautiful in its own way. I think it's important to also consider what this person's actions actually are, because it feels to me that you were discarded in some way, like you were set to the side. Um, this is a person that, with just a little bit of intimidation, they they seem to listen to people, um, because they want a. It feels like a general acceptance. This is a person that wants a general acceptance from people. They're gonna always toe the line, you know. They're not gonna really step outside the bounds. So I would say this isn't actually a risky energy, despite them being an Emperor and a King of Wands. I feel like it's a little bit of facade too. I don't think this is a risk taker, but they come off that way. They come off strong too, but I think deep down they're very weighed down by something. Um, it may not be apparent to you, it may not even be apparent to them, to be honest, but it feels like that's the energy they carry. They may not be vocal about it too, from what I'm getting. I'm getting kind of like a quiet, not shy, but like a quiet, silent energy from this person. I think when they're sitting by themselves in their own thoughts, these anxieties can creep up for this person. Now, I am going to say, I think when you were in a connection with this person, uh, they did really want to be with you. There was a definite connection between you two, definite attraction, whatever it is you shared. I mean, that's apparent, right? I think, though, that maybe potentially, you shared those feelings, but this person had a limit as to how much they would feel about that, whereas you allowed yourself to go all in, right? I think this person did have feelings. I think they really did want to be with you, but there's something about how, because they're limited in some way, they didn't allow themselves to really explore this connection. I kind of feel like when you and this person were together, I think they're the silent type. Like they don't seem to be the loud and, I don't know. It feels like they're a little more silent, but I feel like they felt comfortable being a bit more playful, rowdy even. Um, in general, though, this is somebody that probably could be very engaging, honestly. It feels like this person, I can't describe this. It's like they create a gap between themselves and people. So people feel like they are close enough to this person to feel like they're close enough to this person, when in reality, they're probably not. In reality, there are certain things about themselves they keep to themselves. I feel like in your connection, they may have shared that with you, right? And that, again, that made you feel like, oh, we really share something. And you did. I'm not discounting that. Um, you likely did. However, we still, again, need to look at actions and intentions. And I feel like that's what we're seeing here in this situation with this person. Okay. So I went into a little bit of a deeper description there just so you guys can ascertain if this is your reading or not. Okay. Because it's very tempting to want to assume or hope or even believe that a reading is yours when things are so general. Um, but obviously, when we do the readings this way, hopefully you are able to identify enough if it's actually your story and if the guidance that comes with it is something that you can consider. Okay. Now, I want to say for your energy, um, and this is going to be a bit of a like a hard truths, harsh talk type thing. I feel like for you, you are in a bit of a denial about this. I think you know the truth, but you don't want to face it, or you're reasoning out your connection and what has happened. but not really accepting the truth of the situation. Okay. So that's something that we really have to think about, we really have to consider. Now, there is silence between you and this person. Okay, there's silence, meaning you and this person do not talk, you do not engage. And I don't think it's on your part that their silence is coming from. It's coming from them. This is a person that is willing and okay to be silent. They're okay to be apart from you. They're okay not to engage, right? And that's something that you have to consider. Again, actions do matter, right? Now, I feel I feel like you both are weighed down or locked in or trapped in your situations, but for very different reasons. I think you've kind of trapped yourself into thinking that this is your person and everything that you do comes back around to them. Everything that crosses your mind reminds you of them. It feels like you've contained yourself to the idea of this person, and that's all there is, right? Because you believe they're your soulmate. You believe that you share a special connection with this person, which you may very well have. You know, the thing is, people can always come together and share connections and have beautiful experiences and have it end badly. It doesn't mean the experience wasn't beautiful still, okay? But there's something about how we have to start recognizing when something has come to an end. When we have to realize that an experience is just an experience sometime, just for that amount of time, just for that period, just for that duration. The problem is when we have something so beautiful, we want to keep extending it and extending it, even when it doesn't make sense, even when there is nothing to extend for, right? So that's kind of how I'm seeing your energy. Okay. Um, Now, the point of this reading is for you to hopefully be able to see why it's a blessing that this person isn't coming back. And I'm going to go into that with the guidance here. Okay. Again, the reason that it's a blessing they're not coming back is because you deserve someone that is going to give their whole heart. You deserve someone that is going to display a commitment and a loyalty to you that no one else can compare to. Okay. The thing is, this person is not offering that. They are not making you their cup of love. That you They cared for you, yes, they cared for you. Yes, there were feelings, but you're not it. You're not the cup of love here. I'm sorry that's a little strong, but it has to be said. Okay? It's hard to accept when it's time to grieve a connection because we believe in it so much. It's hard to accept that we have to see a connection for what it is when we want it to be so much more. And I feel like you feel like this is your person. This is your person. This is the one. But maybe consider that it's not. Okay? You won't see it now, and you may not even see it in the near future. But in time, you're going to realize why it was a blessing that this person didn't come back. You're going to realize in time why things worked out the way that they did. And you'll be in a very different situation than you are now when you have that realization. And it's because you're in a different situation that you have the appreciation for the fact that this did not work out. Okay. It's just time to let a situation end so that you can start something new. We are never really going to be able to enjoy or experience the full potential of something that is more beautiful, um, more worthy of our love and attention if we keep going back to things that are already done, if we keep going back to people that are not even giving us the time of day. We miss out on real opportunities when we do that. And I kind of feel like that's what's happening here with you. Now, look, isn't that funny? That's so funny. Um, this king you're dealing with, right? I would say, I mean, you know what? I don't like painting people as the bad guy, the good guy. I don't, I mean, obviously that exists. It's just when we do these readings, we don't really want to identify it in that sense. Obviously, we will feel bad about somebody that has done us wrong, right? But when I look at this energy of the person you were dealing with, probably a fire sign and probably has some water sign there too. This is somebody that they come off a certain way, but I think deep inside they probably have their own issues. They probably have their own anxieties and maybe their own trauma. And unfortunately, maybe that prevents them from being able to see the potential of a connection with you, or it prevents them from, making certain realizations. But at the same time, that's who they are. That's what their experience is. Okay. If this person wanted to be with you, they have the capability and capacity to. Okay? That has to be clear. When we want an experience, a situation, a person, we do what we can to make that happen, right? Like, and this is just like an example, but let's say you want to buy a home. You save up for that home. What do? You work. Even if it's going to take you years to save up for a home, you do it because that is your goal. Let's say for a person, when you love them and you want a future with them, what do? You commit to that person. You make it clear to that person that I want a future with you. And let's say for those that are thinking, well, sometimes people can't be together and so they love each other from afar. Okay, let's go down that road. You would see the effort later on in some shape, way, or form. And that person will maybe be building something and they come back to you, which let's be realistic. That is more in the movies, right? That plays out more in cinema. Although I'm not discounting that that doesn't happen. That does happen. It's just exception to the rule, guys. Okay. Um, so sometimes you just have to take a person at their actions, right? And this person is showing you everything that they are, and it actually also shows you what their limitations are. I think it's necessary for you to see some of those things so you can realize, okay, you know, maybe it's time to move on. I can see that this person actually can do this and is choosing not to. Or I can see this person felt this way, but this is where we're at. We have to be the one to set the realistic picture of our connections to see what actually is and what it isn't. This clearly to me, if I look at this reading, this is not mutual. The intention and the strong desire and even the love, it's not mutual, right? You would know if it is. You would have the evidence. You would have the answers that you need to know that it is. I think you yourself, it's just, it's hard to accept sometimes. It could be your ego, it could be your fears, it could be past traumas that are preventing you from seeing that. It hurts the idea of sharing a beautiful experience with someone and that person doesn't value it as much as you do. It hurts. It's hard to accept. And so sometimes we dig our heels in and we persist and we think, yeah, you know what? We're okay. We're not talking. It's fine. They're going through something. I'm just going to be here and I'll be waiting. That will get you nowhere, right? And what's the fear anyway? If you really truly believe that, you can live your life and this person will come back in. But as humans are, we tend to stick to clinging, to attaching, which is understandable. Okay. So this reading, it was really meant for those that are open-minded enough to hear that maybe they are in denial. That maybe the silence is enough of an answer. That maybe this person, although wanted this connection with you in the time that it happened, maybe they did discard you. It's time to really make a decision about this. You may want this situation and this person, but I'm sorry, does it want you back? Is it doing everything it can to be with you? I think we both know the truth, right? And it's hard to accept. But again, my hope and intention for this reading is for you to hear the hard stuff, then hopefully find the light at the end of the tunnel. That there is so much more people and situations deserving of your energy. That this is an experience for growth. It wasn't meant to kick you when you're down. It could be a lesson, yes. The universe loves to put out lessons, but understandably so, because as humans, we're very stubborn. It takes so much for us to really learn a very difficult lesson. And this is one of those experiences. It's time to walk away. It's time to leave this behind. It's time to give yourself the opportunity for actual real love, true love, something where somebody is offering you their whole cup, not just what they have to give at the time, but everything, their whole cup. They want to share that with you. It's time to walk away from that situation to allow yourself to experience this. You're missing out on this, right? This is what you're really missing out on. So that's why it's a blessing that this person is not coming back.